What's up, bitches? Happy New Year. So 2012 was a great year for gaming, right? The bar was set so high that there was no real game that stood out leaps and bounds above the rest this past year. 2013 is going to be a great year for gaming as well. But before we get to this year's games, let's take a look back at my 10 favorite games of 2012. But understand that this list is my own. In no way, shape, or form does this list represent the gaming community as a whole. I repeat, this is my personal favorite games of 2012. I think it's even sad that I have to put this disclaimer up, but hey, you know how sensitive nerds are. But anyway, every game that's mentioned in this list, the link to my full review will be in the description box below, so you better watch them, or else.
ModernWarNegro.
Hey, nigga talking, sit your ass down. Number 10. Halo 4. Unfortunately, 2012 was riddled with shitty generic first-person shooters, but 343 Industries managed to stand out of the crowd with their first outing. One reason being just cause it's Halo, but another reason being because, well, it's just a quality game. 343 managed to keep Halo at its core intact, but they also added their own prints on the franchise. All the additions made, such as the ordnance drop, loadouts, mechs, new weapons, and sprint no longer being an armor ability, were minor, but it made the game feel refreshing and new. It sped up the game while still retaining its core values of headshots all day. It takes real skill and not cheap kill streaks to be good at Halo, and it's a bonus that the community who plays this game is more of an intelligent crowd who plays for the objective. The game is beautiful as well. I'm not really sure how 343 managed to squeeze more juice out of the 7-year-old 360, but hell, I ain't complaining. Number 9. Darksiders 2. This game got solid reviews across the board in 2012 from every critic, including myself, but a lot of consumers dismissed this game saying it looked like a combination of Zelda and God of War. My question to you people is, why is that such a bad thing? So what, the game's concept isn't the most original? Wake up, people. No idea is 100% original. Everything and everyone is influenced by something or someone, including myself. The combat in Darksiders 2 is fast, fluid, and fun, and the dungeons and puzzles present a decent challenge. They weren't too hard nor too easy, and this is coming from me, and y'all know I fucking hate puzzles, man. Y'all sit here and complain that it's not in a variety of games coming out, but when they do drop, y'all don't support them, and now look at THQ, the publisher of this game. They just filed for bankruptcy a couple weeks ago. Number 8. Sleeping Dogs. Boy, was I sleeping on this game, and that was a pun intended. People kept hyping this game up, so I decided to give it a chance, and I'm glad I did. See, Sleeping Dogs is an open world Grand Theft Auto clone that takes place in a unique setting of Hong Kong. You play as an undercover cop trying to take down the Triad gang from the inside. The story is very well written, and the voice acting is top notch, but it does have a few unique gameplay mechanics going for it, such as the environmental attacks where like you can shove people in the phone booths and in the freaking like fish tanks and stuff. You can do all this type of cool stuff, and then it has like the bullet slowdown time like in the Matrix and like Max Payne. You can do that slow motion shooting and stuff, but at its core, like I said, this is a Grand Theft Auto clone, so I mean, you're gonna be stealing cars, shooting guns, doing missions, blah 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 blah. If you're looking for a game that gives you a lot of bang for your buck, check out Sleeping Dogs. Number 7. Woo! Max Payne 3. You know, old Max almost got left off this list. See, I was digging through my games, and when this one fell out of the pile, I remember how much I had loved this game. And I think it was because this game had came out early in the year. I guess I kind of forgot about it, because, you know, I play everything, but I'm not gonna lie, man. It's not too many games that's gonna top Max Payne 3's voice acting. I mean, this whole game just plays out like a movie, and it never gets old just diving into the air and slowing down time to rip apart people's faces with some hot lead. The multiplayer, it's alright, you know, it got a little stale after a month. But the only reason I don't think this game ranked higher is because the story is great, but if you play this game for 30 minutes, gameplay wise, you'll learn everything you need to know about it. You dive, you slow down time, and you shoot. But I promise, there is an epic ending to this game that will make your jaw drop. Number 6. Borderlands 2. Oh wow, look, another first-person shooter, but the difference between this one and the rest is this one has character, figuratively and literally speaking. Now, I wasn't a big fan of how the story was told in this game because it would just be kind of like people talking in small boxes on the side of the screen, and they did this a lot while I was in the middle of a fight, so it was kind of hard to keep up with what was going on. But that was excused by the fact that the gameplay is just freaking awesome, okay? You play as a treasure hunter trying to stop the game's villain, Handsome Jack. You know, you're defeating all kinds of monsters left and right, from robots to snow yetis, getting new gear. This game is all about looting. It's treasure chests everywhere with new guns in them, and the game has over 1 million guns, all of which have like vibrant colors and they're very cool and different looking. So if you have OCD and you like to collect things, this game is gonna drive you crazy in a good way. And you're just constantly getting new gears you level up with new abilities to complement those guns. Not to mention this could all be played via co-op with 3 friends, and that's where the game really shines. So if you're one of these Call of Duty fags who dismiss this game because it doesn't look realistic, please realize that video games are not supposed to be. They're supposed to tap into your imagination, and you're also missing out. Number 5. George Washington don't give a fuck. Assassin's Creed 3. The good Lord knows I wanted this to be my game of the year. The trailers that were being released for this game earlier this year had me so hyped. But then the game came out, and don't get me wrong, this game is very good, but it's not great. I mean, the first 3 hours of this game is a glorified tutorial that'll make even the biggest Assassin's Creed fan like myself cringe. But if you can make it through what is essentially just setting up the story, I promise you'll be in for a treat. See, first of all, you got the American colonial setting, which is a winner, especially for someone like me who loves American history. But then you got all kinds of new things to play with, from Connor's tomahawk, the bow and arrow, assassinating people out of trees on some old Georgia the Jungle type shit. The story is freaking amazing too, and you don't have to have played the past games to understand it, minus maybe like Desmond sections in the beginning maybe. Oh, and this is the first time that I decided to dive into AC's multiplayer, and I actually liked it. See, I find myself firing up my PS3 on occasion just to play it. It's like a cool little game of cat and mouse. And also, if you get the game on PS3, you get 4 exclusive missions involving Benedict Arnold. And I don't know about you, but any chance I can get to kill a snitch, I will. Number 4. The Walking Dead. Oh, sorry to disappoint those who thought this game deserved Game of the Year, but it don't in my opinion, and here's why. See, The Walking Dead is just a game about a man and a child's will to survive in a zombie apocalypse. And this hands down do have the best written story in 2012, but therein lies the problem as well. See, The Walking Dead is just a 12-hour glorified movie. See, the actual gameplay only involves picking what you want to see from a conversation tree and pointing and clicking. But like I said in my review, there is some brief shooting, but it is just god awful and it is just so clunky. But that being said, if you take this game for what it is and you understand this is just an old school PC point and click adventure on a console, then you will not be disappointed, because this is the only game in 2012 where it made me a little teary-eyed. Yeah, the story is that good. Number 3. Far Cry 3. I didn't give no fucks about this game on some real shit. Like, this joint wasn't even the slightest bit on my radar, but when Ubisoft contacted me and they offered me an early copy of the game for free, I said, hell yeah. I was like, y'all fuck with me? I was like, shit, y'all. Like, I almost feel bad because this game has so much value for what you pay, and I got it for free. But here's why, okay? See, first of all, the story is really good. You're a family on vacation when you're captured by pirates and forced into the human trafficking circuit. But when the main character escapes, he tasks himself with freeing his family and his friends from these pirates and freeing this island from tyranny. Now, you got your standard shooting, but then you also got your skill tree for when you level up, and you can acquire all kinds of cool abilities. They also got all kinds of guns, all of which can be customized, and you can fly on a hang glider. There's wingsuits, you fight tigers, bears, sharks, jaguars, Komodo dragons, and more. And the campaign alone, it takes you anywhere from 20 to 40 hours depending on how many side missions you want to do. Oh, and there's multiplayer with a map editor as well, so talk about getting your bang for your buck. Number 2. Dishonored. Once again, here we have another game on this list that I initially gave no fucks about. I mean, I remember seeing the trailer for this shit and I was like, man, this is some bullshit. But then the game came out like a couple months after I had got partnered, and I thought to myself, well, why not take some of this YouTube money and start investing back into my channel? And bam, here we have one of my favorite games of 2012. See, you play as a bodyguard who was falsely accused of murdering the city of Dunwall's Empress, and you're thrown in jail. Now, eventually, you're freed by a group whose main purpose is to take down the people responsible for taking over the city, as well as framing you for your murder. Dishonored, it looks and plays like a combination of Bioshock and Assassin's Creed. It's like a first-person stealth action game that tailors to the way that you play. So if you choose to be stealthy, you'll get a different outcome than just going around fighting everyone you see. So that warrants multiple playthroughs. So you get all kinds of powers at your disposal as well to take back the city, such as teleporting, slowing down time, seeing through walls, and more. It never gets old having a guard charge at you and then you teleport behind them and slit their throat. Number 1. Black Ops 2. Psych! Should've seen your face, nigga. Number 1. Mass Effect 3. Oh shit, it's time to start some controversy up in this bitch now. If you're sitting there wondering, why is this your favorite game of the year? Here's why. Mass Effect 3 is you choose your own adventure on steroids / action RPG with a massive universe to explore. See, you follow Commander Shepard, the one I created being black of course, and he or she, depending on whether or not you created character is male or female, tries to unite the galaxy to fight together as an ancient alien race called the Reapers try to destroy everything. BioWare took everything that made the last 2 games great and expanded upon it. The new skill tree I felt like was a happy medium somewhere between Mass Effect 1 and 2. The physical attacks, they were a cool addition, and the new biotics were cool as well. The game has 6 different classes, all of which have their own unique abilities. So what that means is you can play through the story 6 separate times and get 6 separate experiences from a gameplay experience. The story is very well written and the voice acting is A1. The conversation tree is still present, so you get to choose what your created character says and you get to shape your own story. Now, when BioWare announced that they were adding multiplayer, I thought to myself, I was like, man, this is gonna be a load of bullshit. But in all honesty, I clocked more hours into Mass Effect 3's multiplayer than any other multiplayer game. It is essentially Gears of War Horde mode, but with 4 Shepards on the screen working together to survive. It's hella fun using biotics with other players, but what keeps the multiplayer intense is the fact that the level cap for each character is 20, so it keeps everyone's created character humble and on their toes, and no one player will be dramatically better than the other characters. Teamwork is the key. I mean, hell, this is the only game in 2012 where I bought DLC for it. The game is that good that it makes you want to revisit the world. Now, if you're sitting there wondering, when am I gonna address the game's ending? Well, here we go. Without spoiling it, basically in the end what happens is, it turns out all the choices that you made throughout the game series really didn't matter, and everyone got the same sad ending with slight variations depending on what you say and do. This pissed off some people so much that they started their own Facebook group and a petition to get the ending to this game changed, and what happened was the game's developers broke down and made a new ending. Now, my take on that whole debacle is the majority of us playing this game are grown-ass men. I repeat, grown-ass men. No game in this world is so important that I feel the need to harass the developers to change the ending. Now, what if I didn't like the ending to a movie? Am I gonna go to the director and tell him, change that shit? No, man, you don't call it. What? I respect his artistic vision and I keep it moving, okay? Y'all are grown-ass men crying about a video game. Y'all ignored the fact that BioWare supplied 3 games and hundreds upon hundreds of hours of amazing gameplay and story. And you hated the game all because you didn't like the last 15 minutes. Man, fuck out of here, y'all. It's about the journey, not the destination. And although, yes, the ending did have some loopholes, I actually believe Mass Effect 3 had a moral. The ending, it had a moral to the story, and nobody caught it but maybe myself, or maybe I'm just crazy, but this is what I think. What I got from the ending was, you can be the most prepared person in the universe, but it's just some things that you can't control.
Static Selector.
They say signs of the end is sniff.
And I quote, we came like them niggas in boats, still think it's a joke, your third eye vision is broke. We lifted from smoke and floating, that's how I got my aura open. Check the horoscopes though, you can say I'm horoscoping. You catch me floating on a 4-leaf clover, that's the pot of gold. So we sunning them like Maury Povich.